This woman was just waiting at a bus stop for a moment. When she looked up, she discovered that 2 months her to a restaurant for dinner. Everyone on the street was wearing short sleeves and shorts, but Wu Yanju was still in her sweater from before. She was sweating profusely from the heat, so Jiangja took her to the mall to buy clothes. After Wu Yanju changed into new clothes in the fitting room, she suddenly figured something out. This is a serialized comic. Each chapter must end with a cliffhanger. As the protagonist, Jiangja needs something shocking to happen to him. Only then could she return to the real world, so she walked straight out and slapped Jiangja across the face. She waited for a moment, but nothing happened. Then, the words "to be continued" appeared. Wu Yanju quickly ran back into the fitting room. Just like that, wearing her new clothes, she returned to the real world. She thought she had been missing for 2 months, but to her surprise, only 30 minutes had passed in the real world. Meanwhile, the comic had been updated in real time. Readers were thrilled to see this sudden romance plotline emerge. They completely embraced this new storyline. The writer's assistants were baffled. They were still working on it. How had the comic already been published? The writer was also furious with his editor. He demanded that the editor pull back both newly published chapters. Then he disbanded his studio. He moved to a hotel by himself to focus on his writing. The writer believed this was his creation. He was the god of this comic world. The fate of every character inside was his to decide. So he drew a car accident. He wanted Jiangja to die. In the comic world, Jiangja discovered that Wu Yanju had suddenly vanished from the fitting room. He drove out to search for her. On the road, a truck without license plates came charging at him from the opposite direction. Just when he thought he couldn't dodge it, everything in the comic world froze. Jiangja thus escaped the car crash. Then the comic world returned to normal. Jiangja had a vague sense that someone was controlling his destiny. Meanwhile, the writer's screen was also updating in real time.
당신 대체 누구야?
This man wanted to give his comic a proper ending, so he decided to have the male protagonist commit suicide by jumping into a river to conclude the story. But when he woke up the next day, the writer found that Jiangja was still on the bridge. He had remained there all night. The writer thought he had drunk too much and his memory was playing tricks on him. But Jiangja's will to survive somehow inspired the writer. So he not only saved Jiangja, but also gave him a wonderful life. He had Jiangja buy a television station. He established a channel called W. It specialized in producing crime investigation shows to search for the killer who murdered his family. Meanwhile, in the real world, writer Wu Qingwu also became famous thanks to this wildly popular comic. He gained both fame and fortune. Together with Jiangja, he reached the pinnacle of success. But strange things began happening one after another. Jiangja in the comic seemed to start resisting the writer's control over him, and almost every morning, new panels would automatically appear. Wu Qingwu realized that the character he had drawn was alive. Wu Yanju, exhausted from traveling back and forth between the comic and reality, plus not having slept for 2 months in the comic world, collapsed from sheer fatigue. So she entered the comic world once again. She returned to the fitting room where she had last left. In Sushi, who was handling the aftermath at the store, found the unconscious Wu Yanju. Upon hearing about Wu Yanju, Jiangja immediately returned to the store. He brought Wu Yanju to the hotel where he lived. Because his